Today is a good day for asking questions in chat, maybe things that you didn't feel were worth bringing up, because I don't have any email questions or video comment questions to respond to. So good morning. It is April 7th, 2025. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. I have audio confirmation, and here
DougBot said I'm working here.
is speaker bot confirmation. So I'm going to come right over to chat. A couple things that some people might be interested in asking today is, how did the baseball game go on Friday? And also, does anybody want me to explain about the upcoming points system and why I want to do that? Why on earth would you want to do that, Doug? Brian, wait a minute. I thought there was something before. No, he was the first. Where can I get some of those monitors and computers depicted in the thumbnail? They seem to run on air. There are never any wires or cables. Tesla would be proud. Now, let's see. Didn't I have that here somewheres? Thought I left that thumbnail open. Maybe I did not. All right, come back over here because there's a little story behind. Well, I don't know. It's intriguing. Here's what that thumbnail is. So he's talking about these monitors that don't have any wires, and over here these monitors don't have any wires. Well, I'm going to say that this table, notice how this table has like two layers on it. I'm going to say that one of those layers is all battery, and that this table, this desk, has inductive batteries, like, you know, when you put your cell phone on a, you know, one of these inductive electrical chargers, that's how they're running. I'm going to say that. But really the thing about these thumbnails, all of the AI generated thumbnails that I've done, I think all of them, have been through Copilot. Copilot is a Microsoft product. Without exception, I think it has always produced Apple computers. How did that happen? One of the mysteries of the world, I think. John Williams says, nice trailer. That was the Monday song from, oh gosh, Brain Fade. I told you I don't remember things I don't actually care about. I don't remember the name of the group. Performing that on a television show. Man, they look so nervous. Mama Cass. Anyway, rest in peace, Jay North, the actor that played Dennis the Menace. Yeah, so long life. Hey, long life. I don't know much about what else he did in his life. Thank you for commenting. Jeff Ryman, he liked Mr. Wilson. Yeah. Greg M, I asked ChatGPT to recommend parts for a mini ITX build. It recommended an Intel motherboard and AMD AM4 CPU. Priceless. Okay. All right. Greg, I don't think you intended that as a joke, but let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give you points. So I created this little thing here to help me do points correctly because I made a mistake last time I did this. So Greg, whoops, I did it again. This is supposed to be the number of points. I'm going to call it, you got to chuckle. I don't remember how many points I've actually come up with a structure for a number of points for a chuckle. Higher number for a laugh out loud and a higher number for laughing so hard I can't speak. Then he says, oh, let's see, did that work right? Add points. I'm not seeing a response. I'm supposed to get a response. Points first and then the name. Add points. All right, what's going on? Add points there. Don't have any of those disabled. Then he asked for points and he got 0 points. Oh, these back up here, this was before the show started. So you have not been earning 50 points per minute because you didn't come in with a chat message right after the show started. Now, after a minute passes, if you do that again, you should find that you have 50 points. Or it might have already offered you awarded 50 because of this. I'm not sure. But that did not work. Try that again. Ah, here it is. Greg has been given 800, now has 850. So up here, it just failed. I just did a copy and paste, so I had the command correct. It just did not work the first time. I guess I'm going to have to check up on it. Now here, I think, does Greg actually have a issue here? My Sage 50 month-long test is coming to an end, and it seems it works fine on Windows 11 Pro test box. Now to spec out a system. No idea if it will be Intel or AMD. They have an old Intel system now. So it sounds like you're doing, this client of yours is only going to be needing one computer, kind of the way that you worded that. And I would, if I were going to build a computer, I would use that website that is designed for coming up with the parts. I would not trust any large language model AI to do that. Month-long test to see if it works on Windows 11. Was that, we worked with you about that on Sage 50 probably a month or so ago on some specific issue. It seems to me there was something else besides will it work on Windows 11. Now I'm wondering.
Yes, sir, A-bomb.
Says that's correct. So I'm wondering, you've had a month test on a test box. Is that with an actual bookkeeper using it doing normal transactions that are used for it? Or does that mean you've just had it sitting on a desk and powered on? Have you actually been working it? Because that's just a challenging thing to do unless you put the computer in the end user's desk. Oh, that's right. Unregistered trial version of Sage 50. Bookkeeper was using it. Okay, so it's been tested by the bookkeeper. Awesome. And then I think there was something about having to transfer the license from the current computer to the new computer. So that's why you've been using the trial version. All right. I think that's coming back to me. Thanks for that update, by the way, and keep them coming. Phil Stodd, hello. Steve McCure, hello. Away we go. Good morning. Here we go. Brian Lightfoot. An electron walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Why so negative?" But pop. No points. No extra points. A skeleton walks into a bar and says, "I'll have a beer and a mop." You're going to make me work for this one. A skeleton walks into a bar and says, "I'll have a beer and a mop." Okay, I don't know. I do not know. Start new chat. Explain this joke to me. Since skeletons are made only of bones, they lack flesh and muscle. So any liquid like the beer. Oh, the humor lies in the skeleton knowing this and requesting a mop to clean up the inevitable mess. It's a classic example of a lighthearted visual pun. Skeletons may not need sustenance, but they certainly know how to plan ahead. Okay, all right. You heard it. You heard it right here. You got a laugh out of me. You know, like I said previously, I forgot the number that I set up in my schedule of points. So I'm just going to do 800 there. Let's see, I'm going to copy that so I can get back to my place and see, yes, that worked. Okay, Control F, paste, that gets me back to here. DougBetts walks into a bar and says, drinks for everybody. And then I woke up from my dream. Yeah, okay, because DougBetts wouldn't buy drinks for everybody. John Williams, hello. John Downey, hello. Randy Israel, Alice. It's an Apple Mac. I look at those all-in-ones from Apple, and I call them all iMacs. Is that not right? Mamas and the Papas. Yes, thank you, Lon Dog. Monday, that was the trailer. And there is a link in the description if you want to get back to it. Microsoft considers Apple products as sci-fi. All right, artificially intelligent. The thumbnail is created by an AI designed by Microsoft. So when I asked it to come up with computers, it came up with artificially intelligent computers, which is Apple computers, right? Okay. That could be reworked into a decent joke. Mama Cass, Michelle Phillips, not Michael. Right? Michelle? Is Michelle the skinny little rail of a girl? Thing is that ChatGPT knew it was incompatible and said so in the warnings. Ran to Greg, you should have specifically specified parts must be able to be assembled without a hammer. Hello, Steve Dodd. I start looking at the chat messages and forget to look at the names. Charlie Purdy, hello. Savi Minor. Got a charge for 99 cents. Are the membership charges for the channel billed by Google? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And thank you for that. Oh, that was a weird positioning for Stormy. No organs. Bookkeeper was using it. No organs. Not sure what that meant. Darren Gilholm, hello. Yeah, no actual questions. Oh, there is a new StreamerBot command, although I did not, it's not enabled for the things up at the top to let you know. So this kind of gets into a little bit of an explanation. Stormy was in my ear. Gives a little explanation of the point system that I'm working on. I know some of you are gonna not care. It's not for you, although it is for you, but it's not. So you could try the new one. It's exclamation like. And as you've seen me try different things to build this channel, you've seen me try a lot of things that really didn't work out and didn't do much. Brian says, exclamation IDC. Oh, I don't care. I got that. I got that, Brian. But exclamation mark like will give you a little kind of a clue and hint as to where I'm going. There will be leaderboards that show at the end of the show the points accumulated by people during the show. The points will be designed to
Read chat, please.
encourage engagement. Zvi's message at 9:06. Randy Israel wants me to have a look at. I wonder if I can do this. Control C, Control F, Control V. Yeah, it does. Oh, that's cool. 69. Birthday, 69. Does that mean, Zvi, it's your 69th birthday? Congratulations. It's amazing how many times in my life the number 69 comes up. Not for no further. I'm not taking that joke any further. I'm going to guess that's your
Why,
birthday.
certainly.
And he says, yes, that is what it is. Awesome. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Zavi Minor. Is he going to start singing? All right. No. Nobody's even going to try the exclamation mark like, are you? Just don't care that much. Nobody cares. But anyway, increasing the likes. Jim's going to take that joke further. There you go. There you go. There's randomness to it. Now this one gave you music. I think that's the only one that gives you music, or did I set them all up to do music now? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I guess so. I wanted to find out, is the music distracting or is it okay? Some shows where there's a talking head, they have music in the background the whole time. And I find them really annoying because it's just like the same little tune clip over and over and over. But anyway, there'll be leaderboards for the daily show for probably weekly and monthly and quarterly. Get out of my way, girl. Jeez, you just gotta take stage center, right? Yeah, the points are designed to encourage engagement. And some of you will have some fun with it and go for the points, and some of you won't. That's okay. I don't care. But more engagement in the chat room, more engagement in comments on videos and the likes. Those, I mean, I want to try it and see if it moves the needle for my channel. That's not fully implemented yet. The points collection are implemented. I can show you that. I mean, keeping track of the points. If I come over here to this temp folder, after the show is over, it automatically exports the points for the show. Now, to make these columns wide enough so you can see them, I'll click on this button to select everything and then double click on a border between two columns, and it makes each column the width that it needs to contain or to display everything that's within the column. Now I see here, I had a problem. I found out that the show titles, if I put a comma in the title of the show, then it's going to break up that name into two columns. So now I have a new rule for myself. Do not put commas in the show title. So it shows the ID of the show, the date of the show, and the name of the show. Now this was one of my test shows where I kept everybody's points. I made the system not clear the points at the beginning of each show so that I could do some tests and do some development on the system. After today's show is over, it's going to automatically import another listing here. This one up here on April 7th, this morning, that was the test live stream that I do to check and make sure things are working. And in that time, the only two people that showed up in chat were DougBot and Live Windows Training. So that's just a little peek into the development. I'm using a lot of Copilot for the development. I've been writing a lot of C# code with Copilot's assistance. That has been amazing. What is the trick to setting up an email account using a domain name through Thunderbird or Outlook? Is SMTP involved? It could be. It depends upon your email service provider. Is it a Gmail account? Is it an AT&T account? Who's the holder of that? And in that case, you could use Copilot to help you with that, or do a Google search. Which way do you want me to demonstrate it, Charlie? Tell me who the email service provider is. He says it's Gmail. Okay. For email account, domain, using a domain name. So you have done a custom domain name that's hosted by Gmail. All right. Let's see what Copilot does for it. Let's see. I got to remember, which one did you say? Thunderbird or Outlook. Either way, and it's Gmail. That actually, with Outlook, you should be able to just, you don't even need to do the Gmail. And with SMTP, no, you should just be able to do it as a Google account. Yeah, so let me think this through a little bit. Let's do Outlook. That is the standard version of Outlook, not the app. And nothing in there that I care about. Okay. So then here's Outlook. Go to the File menu. Add account right here. And then just type in the mail address. So I have a custom domain name with a Google account. My let's see, DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com. That is a Google hosted custom domain name account. I don't think I need to do advanced options, and then just connect. And then it takes me to a Google page. It wants me to sign into Google. So this is Outlook triggering me to sign in to Google. I'm looking at Greg M. Gmail strict on using its service to send mail. Do you not need DMARC set up in the domain? It's very helpful to do that, but yes, you know what? I think I have by now converted everything over to DMARC. So you might have trouble with that. But let's have a look here. I'm going to take that off screen for a moment. I have my... Oh. Is the Live Windows Trainings hosted by Google? I think it is. To your email. Create account. Here's what's happening here. When I click to go next, is trying to sign in with my DougBetts.com. It's like, oh, here's what I need to do. But no, I don't want to sign in with that DougBetts.com. Is my Live Windows Training a sub account of DougBetts.com? Oh, geez. What I'm trying to get to is it should walk you through it pretty automatically for Outlook to configure a Gmail account. Continue in apps and services. I'm stumbling all over this. Let's go back and see if somebody has helped with this better. Have you tried that? That was Charlie asking that, right? What is the trick to setting up an email account? So trick, that makes me think that you've already tried it and something went wrong. What went wrong? Where did it go wrong? And it might be the DMARC issue. You can also set it up as an SMTP with manual settings, but you shouldn't have to. Let's get back to Outlook. So here, Outlook is still waiting for me to finish that out. All right, I'm going to move forward with this and see what I get. I'm going to click next. I'm going to take that off screen. Then it wants my password. I don't have the password manager active. I intentionally turn it off. And I'm not going to show you the password. It's there. Take that off screen when I click next. I don't think this is going for the account that I want it to. Here's what came up next. Microsoft Apps and Services already has some access. See the 4 services that Microsoft has access to. So I'm just going to click continue. If it's asking for any more services, I'll choose them all. Let them do them all. Charlie's saying that they said I had to reroute through the SMTP assigned by the domain name. Okay. Well, now that you've given me that, this says authentication completed. We'll come back to that in a moment, Charlie. But now you've given me what is actually going on, so I'm better equipped to respond to you. Now then. Oh, that's interesting. Here's what Outlook says. We weren't able to set up your Google account with IMAP. You may be able to make changes to your Gmail settings. SMTP is the outgoing mail and the incoming is IMAP. So if you're using SMTP, it's probably going to be with IMAP for the incoming mail. Not DougBetts at Live Windows Training. Something went wrong. Yeah, because it made me sign into Google with my DougBetts.com, and those should be separate accounts. So somehow it was stuck into that DougBetts.com. I didn't see a way to get out of that. All right, but anyway, let's get on to Charlie's actual issue. Daniel does not like the music in the background. Yeah, but I don't run it all the time. Is it okay when during just that little like meme? Look again. Yeah, I think without DMARC set up, you'll still be able to configure Outlook for it. Without DMARC set up, then you're probably going to have problems sending and receiving, but he's already sending and receiving with the Gmail account. And when you set up a custom domain on Gmail these days, I think it will help walk you through setting up DMARC. I'm not certain about that. They said I had to reroute through the SMTP, backwards there a little bit, SMTP, assigned by the domain name. Assigned by the domain name, the custom domain name. If it's hosted by Gmail, is that true? Okay. Now we'll do this with Copilot. It's responding slow. How do I set up a custom domain Gmail account in Outlook? Period. I have been told that I need to use the SMTP and IMAP settings for the custom domain name. Thank you, Josh. He's reminding me that tomorrow is Update Tuesday. Enable IMAP in Gmail. That's a good point, because you do have to enable that in your Gmail account. And this is telling you how to do it. Go to Settings, CL Settings, Forwarding, Pop IMAP. Under the IMAP Access selection, select Enable IMAP. So that could be what you're referring to as the trick. Open Outlook, File, Add Account, Manual Setup. So you saw there was that advanced setting set up, and it had a checkbox for let me set up my account manually. So you do that. Or the selection of additional server types if you're offered that. Select POP or IMAP. That's a single selection, POP or IMAP. If you want IMAP, then you choose this option called POP or IMAP. Enter the account information, select the account type of IMAP, the incoming mail service. See, this rings true to me that you don't have to use your custom domain name as, for instance, imap.dougbetts.com. I don't think you have to do that. If it's hosted by Gmail, you should be able to use the generic gmail.com. But your custom domain name should work as well. Outgoing mail server, SMTP Gmail, log on information into your full email address and password. More settings, click more settings to go to the outgoing server tab. Check my outgoing server requires authentication and use the same settings as, click also on the checkbox for use the same settings as my incoming mail server. Because the incoming mail server is actually the one that's going to define how the authentication is done. Then go to the Advanced tab and set the port number and the encryption type for the incoming and the outgoing servers. Then test. There's click next to test the configuration. It'll run through a test right there for you.
Read chat,
Everything's
please.
correct. Outlook will confirm the setup. If you encounter any issues, ensure that two-factor authentication is enabled for your Gmail account and that you generate an app password for Outlook. Okay, so yeah, that's saying here, instead of doing, where did it say? I'll get to that read chat in a moment. But back here where it enter your full email address and password, instead of your normal password, use the if you encounter issues, then go generate an app password for Outlook. You do that in your email configuration screen. IMAP, make sure IMAP is enabled. Now let's see how to generate an app password for Outlook. Yeah, log into your Gmail, security, under sign in two-step verification. In the same security section, find the app passwords option. It only appears after enabling two-step verification. So if you don't have that enabled, you're not going to see an opportunity to do an app password. Select app passwords, log in again if prompted. Choose the app for which you need the password and click generate. That password is only going to work for that purpose. Now, go look at this read chat, please. For pop IMAP on Gmail, you need 2FA enabled. Yeah. Yeah, that's because the old, the less secure apps thing
Read chat, please.
is no longer allowed. I think I'm saying that right. Greg M. Or use OAuth in Thunderbird. Okay, Greg's saying that in Thunderbird, you would use OAuth is their alternative to the app password. How do I do all this with Thunderbird? Some technicians must be sneering at me for turning to Copilot so much. I think it's a silly idea to do it the hard way. This is so much easier. Copilot or whatever AI that you care to use. I don't care. I don't argue Copilot over the others. So enable IMAP in Gmail, yada, yada, install Thunderbird, add your account, configure settings, authenticate with Google, generate an app password, finalize setup. Now, what happens when you go search on Google? You're going to get a bunch of hits. You're going to get the AI generated response at the top of Google, which in some cases will be enough for you. How to generate an app password. So this is the AI, but it's not giving you, let's see, here we do give it, it does give us some details. So, but I think a dedicated AI has got a whole lot more versatility, because how are you going to ask a follow-up question on this? I don't see any way here to ask a follow-up question. That's why I like the AI. Method of verification. OAuth, is that? Let's go back to this, because I'm asking this in my head. I'm not getting it real good. Explain what OAuth is. Open authorization, role of tokens, delegated access. Dude, that doesn't need a authentication app, does it? Isn't it just a protocol? If you log into an app using your Google, OAuth allows the app to access only the authorized resources like your email, but not your security, not your password or other private data. Widely used like platforms, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft. Okay, so it's the way that it's doing the authentication, but it's not requiring an authentication app. Funny thing, when I last tested, Outlook Classic only allowed OAuth 2 with IMAP, while Thunderbird allowed OAuth 2 with both POP and IMAP. Okay. The differences in how your email works using Outlook or Thunderbird with POP versus IMAP is something that the end user needs to know. Excuse me, what happens when you delete a message when you're receiving your email by POP? The message is still on your web email account. If you're using IMAP and you delete a message in Outlook or Thunderbird, then it gets deleted from your webmail. Greg M saying, I had to use OAuth for a client in Thunderbird to get access to their Gmail accounts. They were not using a custom domain. All right, we're a little bit over time already. I think that'll do it.
Read chat, please.
That'll be a wrap. Last read chat. Does anyone still use AOL Mail? Yes, I have a couple of clients that still use AOL Mail, and it's mainly because they have been on AOL for decades, and they have a bunch of accounts set up on AOL. Now, they could actually access their AOL email through some other interface, but they're mostly fine with doing it in the native AOL app. No reason to talk them into doing something else. If they don't have any pain with what they're using, then there's no reason to make them switch. All right, you can send an email to this address to ask a question. Myself in the chat room will do our level best to respond and give you some helpful tips, pointers, maybe the actual answer right off the bat. We'll even work with you over a few days to help with it. All right, so have a great day, and I will catch you later. Goodbye. Goodbye.